understand that there's an agenda here. And this agenda is if you want to call it a one world government, go ahead. This goes back to the whole androgyny thing I was telling you about. Okay? The ones that run this planet are androgynous creatures. They're the ones that you can call them the fallen angels, you can call them aliens, whatever you want. They don't have genitalia. You know, I'll give you a biblical quote. You shall know them by their fruits. Okay, everybody thinks that means, well, you know them by the way that they act. Yeah, you can take it like that. It's a little bit deeper though. You shall know them by their fruits. It means you're Johnson. Okay? Because you're Johnson, your person or your wife, you know, your wife's best friend, or whatever you want to call it, it represents the real creator. They ain't got one. And so basically, you know, it's drop the laundry, let me see it. And so this group wants total and utter respect, and they are going to put the hurting on the entire planet, because there's a whole bunch of us here that they don't want. And this is not a good thing. This has been planned for thousands of years. This is coming to a head. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I'm telling you that these things that have been here for thousands of years, they look like men and they'll die like men. But they're not. It just blows my mind, because this is like something out of a science fiction novel. Like I told you, this whole androgyny thing, it says in the beginning of the Bible, it says God created the Elohim, and the Elohim, Hebrew plural, more than one, said, let us make man in our image. Well, in our image, let's make him more like us. We were already here. These guys came here and started tweaking around with the DNA, and that story continues all through the Bible. And I got news for you. Update. The story about the Jews wandering around in the desert for 40 years. Do you really think it took them 40 years to go 200 miles? Okay? That story is from another place and another time. 40 years. The Jews are big on Orion. Orion is in Alpha Centauri. Okay? It's 40 years, not light years. It's 40 years from there to Earth. Okay? You remember the song? We all live in a capital I. We all live in a capital I in the middle of the desert. What's more deserted than space? In the center of the sky. Okay, the center of the sky. When you look up north, you'll find it. All right, the group, the Seekers from 1965. Okay, listen to the name, the Seekers. Somebody that's looking. It says there's a new world out there. They call the Promised Land. There's a new world out there. They call it the Promised Land. Okay? The phrase, a third world country. The Bible tells us that this has at least happened 2 times. The first time was in the creation, where God said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. The second one is where in the book of John, it says, they use the word tohu babohu, which means to make waste, void, or desolate. There's 2 times. The third time is in Revelations, where John says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and the first earth had passed away. So we're talking at least 2 times. And so we hear the catchphrase all the time, a third world country. We're a third world country. This is the third world. The Bible is not just about here. I know this is hard for some people to accept. It's hard to understand that there's other things living here besides men. No, we are not the cream of the crop. We are not the smartest thing walking around on the earth. But the thing that's walking around the earth does not like you, because we are from the real creator. They were made by him also, but there's a part of him in us, which is what you call your soul. They don't have that. And so there's definitely a jealousy thing going on here. But it's a very dangerous jealousy. And so they work through certain organizations, and there's one that's very, very mean, and it's, you know, it showed its head in World War II. You know, World War II, Holocaust. What's the word Holocaust? The word Holocaust, first used in Genesis in the Bible, it says God told Cain and Abel to bring their holocaust unto the Lord. A holocaust is a burnt sacrifice or an offering. Well, the Jews gave it the name of Holocaust in 1954-56, but they never told you what Holocaust means. It's a burnt sacrifice or an offering. So why are the Jews that were tormented in there calling it a Holocaust? Because they were a sacrifice. You know, what was the big thing? The ovens, they were being burnt up. And that all goes back to Phoenicia Cana. The Phoenicians, cannibalism and burning, being sacrificed to these androgynous beings. Monsanto, what do you think they've been doing? Why do you think that there's soy in everything that you eat and drink? Soy is laced with, naturally, with female hormones, estrogen. Why do you think the chicks, at 16, their fucking knockers are huge, man? When I was in school, they were flat as a fucking board. And the guys, I'm sorry, it's true. The boys are really, really lighting the loafer. Okay? I don't know who's putting the loafer lightning in, but they're getting way carried away. And so it's all about androgyny. That's what the whole thing is with the cross-dressing. You're taking a man and dressing him like a woman, which is an insult to the Creator, because man is supposed to be the ultimate, and that means mankind. Men, male and female. And then you're taking a woman and dressing them like a man. Now, I don't care about the sexual relationship. I'm saying it's the way that it's set up and the way that they push the agenda. So, when you look at the Romans, they wore skirts, big burly fucking guys with swords running around in a miniskirt. It's androgyny. It's Scottish, hellraisers, drinkers, fighters, walking around in a kilt. It's a fucking dress. The priest, the judge, walking around in a black fucking robe because it represents the woman. It's all about androgyny because that's what they are. They don't have a fucking package. Whoever thought all of this would be over a freaking, over a dick. If you ever drive around and you'll see this in the Middle East, and you see them in churches around here, you'll see a dome with a crucifix on the top. The dome represents the head of the penis. The crucifix is nothing more than an X with an extension on it. That's why Jesus was crucified on it, because it was their gig, it's their symbol. The X represents Saturn, and the Saturn represents the female body part. And so that's why he's sitting on top of the dome. In other words, we're greater than the Creator. When you understand that this is all based on sexual body parts representing Creator and creation, then it'll become much clearer to you what's really going on. I mean, even when you get into arguments, one guy will argue with another guy, and he'll say, "Ah, you big pussy." Okay, now you're talking about the female genitalia, and what is the insult for the man? Ah, you got a little dick. So here you have a big pussy and a little dick. You see what I'm saying? These catchphrases and stuff are thrown out there by them. And people just say it willy-nilly, not understanding that what they're doing by loading us up with estrogen is they're trying to let us make man in our image. They're trying to change you into another creature. In other words, they want you to become androgynous. Okay? I don't think it's moving along fast enough, because I think that I told you, as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the coming of man. And the coming of man is exactly like it sounds. It's a sexual act. It means a new creation. 666 is 999. It's a new model. And the new model, they ain't gonna have a Johnson. It's just gonna be something that's gonna worship them, because they're stealing the creation from the Creator. And they're going to want allegiance, and whether you give it or not, most people are going to be gone. I'm not here to insult anybody's spiritual or religious beliefs, but you've got to understand there's a hell of a lot more going on here than just, the Catholics don't like the Jews. This is so far beyond that.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadows of death, I will fear no evil.
I, the evil Lord Malachyrus, shall one day rule the earth realm. But first I must eradicate my arch enemy, Phoenix Orion.
Millennium fever, disbelievers, God can see us, atheists, no man I trust, just the Almighty, the maker and creator and destroyer of thee. This planet was created without form and void, given to man to live and protect and not destroy. God is not a toy, oh boy, so why you playing him? Blaspheming demons get pissed when I be preaching this Exodus movement, culture, people elevate higher than the Vatican steeple. The devil won't teach you that you're one with the Most High. Genesis 1:26 didn't lie. I testify, you just deny. I be damn if it ain't time to open your third eye. Then you realize to stop being afraid of the coming of the Lord with judgment and last days. Okay, I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. Millennium fever, a cold for disbelievers. I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. I feel so many people wondering what's gonna happen. Millennium fever.
Phoenix Orion, you have foiled my plan for the last time. Now you shall prepare to meet your maker. Helicopters patrolling every area. 1998 Infinity, it's getting scarier. I can prove Star Wars and rumors of wars and more. Beginning in the heavens, breaking into sections within the four directions, covering the four corners. The shield of the living God must be upon us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Thus you will seek death and it shall find you not. You got too much to lose and nothing to gain from these materialistic earth things you proclaim. I came to lift the cross up off your back. Tell you that you're lost and put your back on the cross. Let me know that you feel me, put your hands in the clouds. Scream tetragrammaton and then prepare the bow. Cyber Christ come Christ to collect my fam. A lot of people have suspicions about who I am. I am the lamb and the lion, here I am. It be me, but you never thought that Diva the night was the MC. I see the signs of the times I think it's gonna happen. I see the signs in the times I think it's gonna happen. I see the signs in the times I think it's gonna happen. Millennium fever, you got a bad case of it. I see the signs in the times I think it's gonna happen. I see the signs in the times I think it's gonna happen. I see the signs in the times I think it's gonna happen. Millennium fever.
Millennium fever, disbelievers, God can see us, atheists, no man I trust, just the Almighty, the maker and creator and destroyer indeed. Millennium fever, disbelievers, God can see us, atheists, no man I trust, just the Almighty, the maker and creator and destroyer indeed.
Cyber Christ, you will be crucified once more.
Watch me. Phoenix Orion, one come to boom it up 1,000 years. This Christ race you rule this earth again. Phoenix Orion, one come to boom it up. So listen up, prepare for motherships and aliens. Hey, I got you open like a wormhole. I touched your soul, yeah, you know, from a seed so young but yet so old. Like my brother McL said, out of control. That's why Neo Elo be the only life I know. Resurrect the God spirit and obtain the glow. Cause if this planet's gonna blow, it gotta go. But by that time, I'm somewhere beyond your timeline. You have the same faith as me, but you just open your mind. Yeah, the celestial squadron has the turn. Phoenix is here, yeah, and gonna burn, baby, burn. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Millennium fever, you're now a believer. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Now that is right in front of your face, you know it's gonna happen. Millennium fever, the world is sick.
You've defeated me again, Phoenix Orion. But the world and the war has reached its climax. Just a mere battle you have won. My dark angelic forces shall return.
Thou's preparing the table for me.
I feel so many people
in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oils, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me in all days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.